Assalamu alaikum students. Lastly, we have read about the Ohm's law, and from Ohm's law, what we got that the potential difference applied across the ends of the conductor is directly proportional to current. Or you have to say the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference, provided the temperature of this very conductor, which we have taken, the temperature of this very conductor should not change. It should remain constant. Why constant? I answered for that. Because if the temperature of this very conductor increases or decreases, let's consider for increase. Once it increases, then there will be more and more oscillations and vibrations of these very constituents. Because of that, there will be more and more collisions of the free charge carriers, and as a result, there will be a huge a portion offered by this very conductor. That's called as a resistance. So its resistance is going to increase. If you are going to increase the temperature, R increases. If you are going to decrease the temperature, R decreases. So you have to understand like that. Now today we are, after going through this Ohm's law, now V is equal to IR. If we are going to state the graph for it, the graph for, if we are going to draw a graph between what? Potential difference applied and current flowing through it. So here it is V, the voltage. Here it's I, the current flowing through the conductor. As it is a V raised power 1, I raised power 1. So it is a linear graph. Once V is 0, as there is no potential difference applied across the ends of conductor, so there will not be any current. So the graph has to be start here, and it will be a straight line. This very graph, thus the graph between, if somebody asks you what kind of graph is between, what kind of graph we are going to draw for Ohm's law, it is simply a straight line passing through the arch. Now there is a lot of confusion among the students. I will make a couple of graphs. I will make you clear here bit by bit. Let us have another graph. Here again it is V and it's I. Now it is a straight line passing through the origin, and this very graph is for an ohmic material. Those very here one another term, ohmic material. Ohmic materials are those which obey what? Ohm's law. And non-ohmic materials are those which do not obey Ohm's law. And for Ohm's law, we should have a straight line passing through the origin. Now, if you are given 2, 3, 4, 5 material, you are given 2, 4, 3 metals. As always, they do not have the same resistance because of different nature. You will get it. The one graph is like this, one straight line. This is another straight line. This is another straight line. Let me name it A. I name this as B. I name this as C. Now the examiner poses a question to you that which among metal A, B and C, which is having more resistance, or in which, whether A, B or C, in which the current flows more. How will you answer it? Now you might have read in your 9th class that the angle made by this very graph with this very line, it is angle theta. If we are going to take the slope of this very line at any two different points, if the angle here is theta, here again is theta. If you are having a straight line, it is going to make the same angle everywhere. It is having a constant slope, and that constant slope gives us what? That constant slope, it is V here, some delta V, it is some delta I. So delta V over delta I, that will give you the R, because R is neither dependent on I nor dependent on V. It is independent upon the both, because the material is having a fixed resistance. That will resistance depends upon some different factors that we will discuss in coming lecture. But right now it doesn't depend upon I, it doesn't depend upon V. So the slope of this very line, if we will take this very line and we have to take its slope, the slope of this very line gives us the resistance of this very conductor. Now by using your common sense, among the all these very lines, this is these are not actually lines, these are the graphs for different metals, different materials A, B and C. For A we are having a larger slope, for B we are having a smaller slope, and for C we are having a very small slope. So one thing here I will say, more slope means more resistance. Because if slope is more, then the resistance is more, because you have to draw a graph. Here you will take delta V by delta I, delta V by. If I will take this very voltage, let it be something, let it be 2 volt or something. At 2 volt, this very material A is having only this very much current, this very much current I1. At the same voltage, this very material B is having more current. At the same material, this one is having very much large current, I3. So among the three materials A, B and C, which is having more resistance, material A is having more resistance. So the material which is having, so the line which makes more angle with this very horizontal, which is having more slope, that is having more resistance. At a voltage of 2 volt, in material A we are having I1 current, which is smaller. In material B we are having I2, which is greater than I1, and in material C we are having I3. Here I3 is greater than I2, which is itself greater than I1. So once I3 is greater, that means, that is, if it is having a resistance of R1, it is having a resistance of R2, it is having a resistance of R3. That means R1 is greater than R2 is greater than R3. Among all those very materials, this very material A makes a large angle with the horizontal, so it's having more slope, and I told here more slope means more resistance, it's having more resistance, and I showed it here. So this is a VI graph, it is VI graph, VI graph. From VI graph we can conclude that the line, or this line for which we are having more slope, that definitely is having a more and more resistance. From VI graph we can conclude that if the line makes a more angle with the horizontal, it is having more and more slope. Now we are having another graph here, but all these, whether C, B and A, all they are obeying the Ohm's law. Now it is I and it's V, and I will again make the same. It's 1, it's 2 and it's 3. Now it is A, it is B and it is C. Again I will take the slope of any of the line. First I will make some separate graph so that you will get it out, like here. It is voltage V, it is current I, and it is the line. It is delta I, it is delta V. Now if I will take here slope, it is perpendicular with base. Always slope here is delta I by delta V. But delta I by delta V, that is 1 by R. Because V by I, that is R. Delta I by delta V, that is 1 by R, reciprocal of resistance, and that is called as conductance. Conductance. So now here you have to see, in IV graph, more slope means, this slope means more conductance. In IV graph, more slope means more conductance. Let us going to find out. If at this very voltage, as this is voltage, at this very voltage, in material say we are having this very much current. in at the same voltage in material B we are having a lot of current, and in material A we are having very much current. If it is it is I3, it is I2, and it's I1. Now here you have to say I1 is greater than I2 is greater than I3. If I1 is greater, if I1 is greater, that means this is having least resistance. That is, one is having least resistance, it's having more conductance. You should not neglect here. Sir, you have told in this very graph, you have told more slope means more resistance, but that was VI graph. Now, my dear, it is IV graph. In IV graph, more slope means, in IV graph, more slope means more conductance. You have to remember. So here, I1 is greater than I2 is greater than I3. Or you have to say R1 is less than R2 is less than R3. So R3 is greater. You have to remember. So this was the knowledge regarding the graphs. You have to clear it out. Just go through it this very lecture, and if you not get it, so do message me so that I will make it clear to you. I will be with another lecture. Till then, Allah Hafiz.